So we're gonna, we have to make a motion to. Motion second, okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Discuss changes to personnel policy. What do we have in personnel policy?
I don't want to throw a monkey wrench into you, but I was looking through this, and I kind of went over, and I understand it's part of CAD, which is a little bit different. But there's a couple things I'd like to see added to this policy, the personnel policy. And one is a maternity leave. And I've got a draft deal that was taken out of Carbon County, which is probably pretty overall. And then the other part was, the other part I'd like to see added to this deal is animals. The only animals permitted on the premises would be those that are assistants, service dog, say, just for the liability reasons that it leaves the town in by having other people bring their animals to work. And I guess the other one was Carbon County covers children and visitors in the workplace. And I do know, like, we used to have a clerk, and she was very good about it. Her girlfriend would stop by. Her girlfriend only came between 2 p.m. and 2:15 because that was her break time. And they met outside for their smoke. And when 2:15 came up, her girlfriend left. So I've got copies of them for you, Melissa.
Okay.
But I'd like to amend that to those, and I'd like to move the,
Are they,
they're not in here. No, they're,
let's review it first before we
Yeah, nothing to do.
put it in there. If you could get copies of it.
I've got, okay, well, I'll give them to you afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, if we could get some copies so we can look at it before we decide what we want to do.
So do you want to like look at that at the next meeting again?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
The other thing that Kirsten brought up was stuff like a clothing allowance, like weekend work time, stuff. She just wanted me to bring that up to see if you guys wanted to.
Well, I kind of like the idea, and I'm not sure what policy we use now, but 40-hour work week.
So like if somebody comes in and works like an hour on a weekend to check water or whatever.
See, right now in our ordinances, I think that states that they get overtime for doing it. 40 hours is overtime. But if we have a 40-hour work week and Monday through Sunday, and that way they could, if they didn't work 2 days during the week and wanted to catch up that time in the middle, and the weekend they're not just solely over.
Exactly. Well, that's what we brought up, that's what I brought up about the testing.
So we need to have that written and not.
Right, that's what I was talking about, the testing, is this test on the weekends. Who's ever doing the testing, whether it be Marcus or I, is Matthew doing testing on the weekends, is it just you?
Yep. If you look, Matt don't have a lot of hours.
So, on Friday, Marcus can take off a few hours early to come for Saturday, Sunday testing, and we're not paying overtime.
Then we need to change in the policy or the ordinance that
It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say
It
that.
doesn't say that in the policy. ordinances don't cover time on that.
It states it in the employee handbook. It states in the employee handbook that it's approved, overtime, and any overtime occurred that isn't approved goes as comp time and will be paid as time and a half at a time for my facility, or my using. It states it in the town
But
employee handbook,
it,
and that's what we have to go by. Kirsten was the one that pointed that out, because I
Yeah.
asked her about it.
yeah, no,
So,
I
I
know,
mean,
me and her would,
If he approves 44 hours, which means 4 hours of overtime on the weekends, that will be paid.
yeah,
But if he
Yes.
doesn't approve and I get like 48 hours, that 8 hours can be put down as comp time. I will be paid for it at time and a half on another day. A day that I take off, and instead of using sick leave or vacation leave, I use comp time. But it states in the employee handbook, it don't matter if that 8 hours is, and if I only get 20 hours that week, that 8 hours of comp time is paid at time and a half.
Well, let's, review whatever we're looking at.
Yeah, let's see, basically let him bring something to the table if you wanna see there.
Yeah. So we have that as old business.
For the next game.
New business. Resolution 529. Resolution 529, resolution of the town of Fromberg to increase rates and charges for the users of the town's water system. Whereas the town of Fromberg in Carbon County, Montana, the town owns a water system, and whereas the town hired Riglis Engineering to conduct an engineering analysis of the system, and whereas the town and the engineers have developed a plan for the replacement of a section of drinking water transmission main line with an estimated cost of approximately $1.515/499, $1,515,499 the project. And whereas the town has received commitments for loans in the amount of $830,000 from the Montana Department of Natural Resources, and the conversations with $617,000 of loans to be forgiven under certain circumstances, and $213,000 payable over 30 years at a 2.50 interest rate, and has procured American Recovery and Reinvestment Act grant funds in the amount of $677,999. And whereas the town has determined it is necessary to change the rates and charges for the systems provided by the system in order to collect sufficient revenues to pay bonds issued for system improvements and meet bond covenants on coverage, establish revenues and pay costs associated with the operation and maintenance of the system. And whereas the town is required to provide notice and a public hearing prior to the passage or enactment of a resolution imposing, establishing, changing, or increasing rates, fees, or charges for water services or facilities. Now, whereas therefore be it resolved by the town council of the town as follows. Reasons the increase in water user charges. The town will implement a rate increase for users of the system as set forth herein. The reason for the increase in rates is that the town will need to borrow approximately $213,000 payable over 30 years at an interest rate of 2.5% annual, and as part of the town's portion of the construction cost of the project, and the cost of operating the town water system. The debt service coverage requirements for such loan repayment and revenues, as well as debt services coverage on existing water debt, will be approximately $53,212 per year, and the expense for that water system, including operational and maintenance, are estimated at $150,265 per year. These obligations, along with increasing cost of operation and the need to maintain reasonable revenues, require a monthly base rate of $12 per month per equivalent dwelling unit. So it goes from residential active, 45, commercial active, 45, non-residential active, 50, non-active, 29. Bulk water users, $3 per token for approximately 200 gallons. The new monthly base rate will increase at $12 to the current base rate as follows. Residential active, 57, commercial active, 57, non-residential active, 62, non-active, 41. Bulk water users, $3 per token for approximately 200 gallons. Effective date of new rates. The new rates will go into effect for July 1, 2024 billing. Subsequent adjustments to the rates will be made by resolution of the city of the council duly adopted after a public hearing with notice therein given as provided by law. Further rate study and changes. The town will conduct further rate studies to determine if rates need to be further adjusted to provide adequate funds to operate and maintain the system and to satisfy debt service and covenant obligations and maintain operation reserves. Public hearing. A public hearing on the proposed rate increase was held on June 10th, 2024, commencing at 6:30 p.m. at the Fromberg Town Hall, located at 118 West River Street, Fromberg, Montana. Notice: the clerk did publish or cause to be published a notice of the passage of the resolution in the Carbon County News, a newspaper of general circulation in the town on the dates of May 3rd and May 30th and June 6th in the form and manner prescribed by Section 69-7-111. 3 of the Montana Code Annotated, and to mail or cause to be mailed a copy of said notice to all customers of the system at least 7 days and not more than 30 days prior to the public hearing. The clerk did also mail a copy of the notice to the Montana Consumer Council. Any questions? Do we have a motion? No, we don't. So we have a motion?
Move about resolution number 525.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 529. All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 530. Resolution of the town of Fromberg to increase rates and charges for the users of the town sewer system.
Carson says you don't have to read it.
I don't have to read the whole thing? Boy, that would be.
Probably just. Yeah, that's where it was.
Okay. The town of Fromberg in Carbon County, Montana owns a sewer system, and the town hired Great West Engineering to conduct an engineering analysis of the system, and the town and the engineers have developed a plan for the replacement of a section of a wastewater transmission main with an estimated cost of approximately $736,674. And the town has received commitments for loans in the amount of $603,173 from the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation, with the $295,173 of the loans to be forgiven under certain circumstances, and $308,000 payable over 30 years at 2.5%, and has received $126,001 of American Recovery and Reinvestment Act grant funds, and the town has determined it is necessary to change the rates and charges for the services provided by the system in order to collect sufficient revenues to pay bonds issued for the system improvements and meet bond covenants on coverage. Established reserves and pay costs associated with the operation and maintenance of the system, and the town is required to provide notice and the public hearing prior to the passage of the act resolution imposing, establishing, changing, or increasing rates, fees, or charges for the sewer system. what the project is. Do you guys have any questions on it? We've got a lot of ground that's going into these things.
Try to get a coin out of it, flusher in the hair. That'd be cheaper.
Well, we're gonna charge you for a business if you put a point on it.
I suppose
Okay.
that'll rate increase too.
Do we have a motion?
No choice.
I move to adopt resolution 530.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 530. All in favor? Resolution 531. To increase rates for the users of the town. You guys need to add something?
I was just wondering, I didn't hear you state the cost of that, like for, you said $12 for the water, but you didn't say what the cost was for
For the,
for the sewer.
it's going up $8.
$8, okay.
How much was the loan for the sewer pipe? Two and a half percent?
2.5%. Okay, resolution number 531. Increase rates for the users of the town garbage system and implement a 4-year plan of increase. Whereas, under section 69-7-101 Montana Code annotated, the town has the power and authority to regulate, establish, and change as it considers proper rates, charges, and classifications imposed for utility services as its inhabitants and other persons served by the municipal systems. Rate changes and classifications must be reasonable and just, and it will be necessary for the city to collect sufficient revenue to repay outstanding bonds payable for the revenues of its garbage system, pay costs associated with the operation and maintenance of the system, and establish appropriate reserves. And pursuant to section 69-7-111 Montana Code annotated, the council shall order a public hearing prior to the passage or enactment of an ordinance or resolution imposing, establishing, changing, or increasing rates, fees, or charges for services or facilities. The first increase to services will go into effect on July 1, 2024, billing of utility services. The subsequent increases implemented with the 4-year plan will each occur on the July service of each year. The town council and the town of Fromberg sets garbage rates as follows. The town will implement these rate increases for users of the system as set forth herein. Residential, business, and collection are as follows. The whole list here, one garbage, 17. Well, the current rate is 17.34. So it will be